Same face syndrome. It's a term you may have heard, and one that I've addressed on this channel in the past, specifically through critiques. I thought I'd take some time to flesh out not just what it means, but specific ways to fight against it, and to create more interesting, varied faces. Same face syndrome often happens, usually with newer artists, across their body of work. No matter what character they've made, even if things like color, gender, and age change, it still seems like every face they draw is either at the same angle, making the same expression, or is structured the same, or a combination of all three. While it's possible for this to happen with any kind of character, creature, animal, alien, robot, it tends to be most egregious with human faces. It most likely sounds like something you want to avoid, but how? Well, let's boil down why this happens in the first place, and hopefully break you out of this face replica assembly line. One of the most common reasons for same face comes from being stuck in a rut. Usually you're drawing characters using the same method or muscle memory as before. Do you make the same shapes and lines every time you draw? Well, the results won't ever be different if you do. Something that may be helpful is everything that I talked about in my Loosen Up Your Art video, which talks about drawing without worrying about making mistakes, warming up with more gestural, experimental shapes, and finding new pathways for your pencil or stylus. Oftentimes, if eyes, noses, mouths all look the same from character to character, it's because the artist treats these elements as though they were symbols of the real thing. So every time they draw an eye, they draw it the way they think it should be, or are making the same basic approximation. This could be due to inexperience, and the best solution here is to choose something, like eyes or noses, and fill a page with them. In fact, challenge yourself to draw 100 pairs of eyes. Not all the same, but different. Use the opposite shape that you would normally use. Reverse the direction of something. Choose an object that it would be unlikely to craft a pair of eyes from. Make lots of wrong decisions on purpose. Push the boundaries of what eyes should be. And in the process, you aren't necessarily unlearning anything useful. You'll actually use this new library and outer limit to create better eyes, noses, and so forth. This will be like adding new words to your vocabulary.
A fine addition to my collection.
It's also helpful that in your studies, you start to draw these elements of the face from other directions, and it could help to do realistic studies. For example, did you know that from the side an eye looks a little like a slice of pizza? Those little observations are invaluable to getting new, fresh ideas into your drawings. If you're treating every part of your face separately, though, you may start to create faces that look similar just because they're always being put together the same way. Now, appeal in character design can mean a lot of different things, but if you go back to my videos on the subject of appeal, one of the ways that I like to define it is by the consistent flow or direction of different shapes in a design, the way that they become unified by a single solution. You can utilize appeal in your faces and get a nice amount of variety in them by choosing an overall arc, a direction, point that's pulling, or shape that influences every part of the face. You could make it look deeply affected by gravity, or floating away like it's full of helium. You could make the nose a sort of arrow that the rest of the face helps point to, or you could make the face feel sort of stretched out in a direction. Exaggeration is a part of this, but it comes down to your initial sketches with this face as you're exploring the options to lay down the guidework for where the rest of the features go. Maybe the shape of your eyes is affected by both what looks most appealing, but also just what fits in the remaining spot on the face. And don't be afraid to make a face look somewhat ugly. A lot of times people hem themselves in by trying to make the cutest, handsomest, prettiest, normalist faces, and it gets them stifled when it comes to variety and interest. Of course, with all of this so far, you may have gotten away with drawing the face from one angle, but as the blue blur says,
that's no good.
It can be intimidating if you've just been drawing flat, symbol-like faces to transition into drawing dimensional faces from multiple angles. But it's going to be the best way to digest new, raw, leafy green art nutrients that fuel the stuff that you want to make. So figure out the forms and the shape of the head and skull, and practice drawing them from different angles. Ask a friend or family member if you can sketch them. Or do it kinda sneaky in a cafe, but please don't be weird about it. What you'll probably find immediately is how much variety there is in a real face. No one has this amalgam flawless set of features, which is part of the beauty of being human. Every time you go back to draw stylized stuff after eating those leafy greens, you'll have a new longhand piece of information that you can use in shorthand. You'll have filtered it through yourself and will wield that new knowledge in an interesting way. Hey, so if it feels like drawing tips eventually boil back down to doing more studies and life drawings, it's not because experienced artists hate fun and want you to suffer. It's because these things end up being potent and powerful improvements to your artistic progress. If in every face you draw, you see the eyes of someone you've drawn before, hopefully these steps will help you to get a lip up on, to get an earful, to lash back, or to be a good pupil of, I don't know, I hope it helps you.